So right now, there are a lot of panicked homeowners signing away their home equity. So look at these two numbers for me. A company hands you a $44,000 check today. In one case, the projected settlement later claimed towards $177,000. No monthly payments in between. That missing monthly payment is exactly why desperate homeowners lean in right now. Because you were told this was the smart way to unlock equity when life got tight. Cash now, breathing room in your budget, and no extra bill every month. And it sounds like the responsible move. The first number gets the signature, the second number gets the truth, and ignoring the gap, that ends up being the fatal mistake in this story. Judging the whole deal by what hits your account today instead of what it takes to clear the company's claim later. So here's an example story. We'll just call this lady Sarah. She has a mostly paid off home and real pressures hitting her budget. She was staring at one of these offers and something in her gut said the math just didn't add up. And she was right. Now, HomeTap calls this a home equity investment. And what it is that you get the cash up front, no monthly payments, and in return, the settlement is calculated using an agreed share and the home's value when the agreement ends. They describe it as an investment that meets people where they are. And that sounds helpful on the sales page until you look at what actually happens on real houses. Now, let's take a situation in California lawsuit involving one of these agreements. The home appraised for around $305,000. The homeowner received about $44,000 after fees. That's a 13% stake in your house. Now, the California lawsuit alleges the contract was approved without the usual checks on the ability to handle the bill later, because the house is the backup. It wasn't the paycheck. It wasn't your credit score. It was the house. It sits there inviting a silent partner who stays quiet for years, but then shows up with a calculator and a moving truck when you need to sell or refinance your home. So the payment, it didn't disappear. It just put on a fake mustache and waited in equity. Nobody reads no monthly payment and thinks, excellent, I cannot wait to study the settlement formula later. You think you're getting breathing room, which so many people desperately need right now. And your budget, it looks manageable. But then the home value rises the way that we all hope that it does, and the company's price grows right along with it. And most people cannot just write that bigger check. So now they may have to refinance or sell. Now, the equity you protected for a year suddenly arrives at the closing table with somebody else's claim attached to it. It has the treadmill with the cup holders. It looks easy or at first glance, but the real cost keeps running the whole time. Now, lawsuits against HomeTap argue these contracts are structured to avoid some borrower protections that apply to regular loans. The complaints say calling them purchase options let companies skip rules meant to protect those regular homeowners. Now, HomeTap, of course, they're denying that its product is predatory and says its agreements are completely transparent. And you don't need the final courtroom to protect your house. You don't need to answer for them. You just need to see the numbers. Same pressure shows up in a separate complaint filed by New Jersey homeowners. They reportedly received about $98,000. And the complaint says the projected settlement had climbed towards $177,000. That's almost double. And the contract lists events such as selling the home that can require an earlier settlement. And life doesn't always give you the full term, or the medical bill, or the job change, or the need to move. Suddenly, the bill arrives when you're least ready. It's like that subscription that starts acting like a roommate who never pays rent, but still claims a share when you finally move out. And you thought you had time, right? But the contract, it had other plans. And here's the part that really lands. Because the people most likely to say yes are often the ones who need the cash the most. Tight budget, urgent need, exactly when a big future obligation can hurt the worst. Because you're not betting on tomorrow's easy refinance. You're hoping everything stays perfect enough for the exit math to work. And that is heavy. It's a heavy bet when you already feel that desperate. Other homeowners have reached a harder conclusion. They would rather delay improvements, keep more cash available, and leave the equity alone. And one homeowner put it pretty simply: a paid-off house is not an ATM. Once people see the second number, many choose to keep the house out of the deal. Compare it with a HELOC for a second. A HELOC is still debt. You generally qualify based on income, credit, and availability to repay. Your ability to repay. You pay interest on what you use, and that rate, it can change. So it's not automatically cheap or safe, but the cost is built around a balance you can actually see as you go. A home equity investment works differently though, because there's no monthly payment. But the final settlement can grow with the home value formula in the contract. Now, one puts pressure on your budget now. The other postpones the pressure and attaches it to the equity. So the question is not which sales pitch sounds easier. It's which total obligation you can actually understand and afford. And ask for those answers in writing. Don't do it through a phone call. Don't do it through a cheerful sales conversation where every sentence begins with "the good news is," because you need the actual settlement formula. You got to get that. You got to get the maximum company share, get the appraisal rules, and to ask whether renovations you pay for can increase the value used in their calculations. Because you don't want to spend $40,000 improving your own home only to discover that part of the value you created now increases somebody else's settlement. And the sales representative, they can explain the promise. The contract decides the bill. And here's the checklist I would use before signing anything like this. First, ask concrete settlement examples at different home values. What do I owe if the home stays flat? What if it rises 3% a year? What if it rises 5% a year? Write those numbers down. Second, do this. List every event that can trigger the bill early. And third, understand how improvements you make can affect the company share. And fourth, ask what happens if you cannot refinance or pay when the time comes. Because if the settlement arrives and you cannot clear the claim, selling the home can become the only remaining option. And this is not theoretical. This is the house that you live in, the place you raised your kids or plan to retire in, and the biggest asset most of us will ever have in our life. Because you spend decades paying it down, repairing it, staying put. When moving, it might have just been easier.